Hey you guys, it's me, Katie B, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Space Before, which was part of what was known as the Betwixt series and originally known as Just Before, but as the space between heartbeats kind of became the space between heartbeats, this kind of had a revamped title as well, as much like the sequel, Novella. So, yeah, I'll read you the synopsis and then I'll give you my review. Sometimes to find your way, you have to get completely lost. Dale Finnegan is a teenage rebel. He lives for parties, girls, and joyriding in stolen cars. In spite of his uptight parents' constant warnings and lectures, he continues to run wild. His crazy lifestyle is the only way he can live and feel free, until his reckless behaviour takes him down a path where there is no going back. In this prequel to the Space Between Heartbeats, find out who Dale Finnegan was before he became known as Scarface, the unassuming hero everyone underestimates. Warning, this book is intended for mature teen readers due to coarse language and mature content. Prequels are a funny thing for me. Because while I do kind of enjoy prequel novellas, there isn't as much kind of tension going on, partly because you kind of do read the main book beforehand, and you kind of, if they do appear in that, or if they don't appear in that, you know what's coming. And while in some way that doesn't detract from my enjoyment of the book, it can take away some of that tension, and I understand that some people kind of don't enjoy spoilers that way because it takes away the tension. And there's also the fact that with some, you could kind of play around with, you could kind of get in a group and say, okay, we're going to read this series, and have some people read the main book first and then the novellas afterwards, or read them in the order of where it comes, like have the prequel read first, then the main book, then the sequel, and see kind of how people enjoyed it. Mostly because, like, you don't know when you're reading them, that especially when kind of they're released then the novellas are the main book first and then the novellas afterwards, that there will be novellas that you would probably want to read and would probably want to have read first or last if it's a sequel one. I wish I kind of tested that out and read this one before the main book, because my review may have been a little bit different then. I can never know, because of course I read this one after I read the main book, and so yeah, it did add quite a bit to Dale's character, which is something that I really quite liked. You got to see him before, which, because you kind of, with the main book and the sequel, you see it from the point of view of Nicole. You kind of see bits of him and you're not sure what he's thinking, and it was nice to get inside his head, which is why I do like kind of novellas that come before from another character's point of view, and it always makes things a little bit nicer. It was short and sweet, which I think, it did kind of need to be, much like The Space Beyond, which I've got a review for. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put that one up before or after this one, so yeah, who knows. If it's up before, then this statement's a little bit redundant, but much like The Space Beyond, it kind of needed to be a novella because it couldn't be a fully fledged book, because with, like, the main story is what should be the main event, and these little snippets where you're seeing their lives before that have been frequented a little bit, you've kind of had a little teaser of within the main book. You don't want to have a whole 300-400 page book to kind of really explore that. which is why it's nice it's a novella that comes before. So yeah, it's a very good one. I do recommend reading it before you read The Space Between Heartbeats, if you do kind of decide that you want to read it, because quite frankly it might change the whole experience, and which yet again it might end up being that The Space Between Heartbeats has a little bit of just the little details are kind of you kind of know more about Dale, so the revelations that he kind of brings out to Nicole aren't as surprising to you, but you know, it's kind of like you can't really win with either situation with in that respect of knowledge and spoilers, and so you know it may not kind of be, you know what I'm getting at? Do you? I don't know if you do, but I'd probably be, yeah. If you're not quite sure what I'm going on about, comment below please, because I could probably explain it when I've got kind of time to type it out, and yeah. Okay, but it is worth a read, so I will put the links down below for it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode then, guys. Bye bye.